Hello, today I'm going to be experimenting by making a pear kvass. For those of you who don't know what a kvass is, it's a probiotic drink traditionally made with beets or rye bread. And I have seen a lot of people using pears and apples lately. So I thought that we would try it. I have a whole box here. I guess not a whole box, but close enough to a box here of pears that we still have yet to process. And so I decided that I would make a pear kvass. So if you'd like to see how that is made, stay tuned. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more fun content. Yeah, let's get started. First things first is I'm going to pick out the best looking pears out of the bunch. I've got a few that have some bad spots on them, so I won't be using those. But I've got a few other ones that are perfectly ripe and they look really, really nice. So I'm going to pick out all of the best looking pears that are ripe and then cut them up. I will leave all of the skin on. That is where a lot of the wild yeast and bacteria live. And so I'm going to leave the skin on and show you what I'm doing as I do it. I'm going to chop it pretty small because I read that the smaller the surface is, the faster the fermentation process goes. So that's what I'm going to do. Because we're not going to be using any of this fruit. We're not going to be eating it or anything. We're just using it to flavor and ferment the liquid. Then I'm going to put them in my jar. This bear is really funny looking. I've had quite a few that look like that actually. Looks really yummy and juicy though. Started out using a half-gallon mason jar and I quickly decided, I think that was only 3 pears. I quickly decided to size up and go with a gallon jar. We're going to transfer all of this into this gallon jar. I want to say a quarter of pears. Quarter of the jar filled up with pears, and I think that I'm gonna do probably one more and then put the other ingredients in there. In the recipe that I found, it had mentioned using ginger. I don't have any fresh ginger, so I think I will save that for the next batch. I could see this being something that my family really enjoys, and if we have a lot of pears to use up or apples, especially if they're very ripe, I could see this being something that we could get on board with. I have about a little over a quarter of the jar filled with fresh pears. And now I'm going to add some raw honey. And then I'm going to fill it with, I actually think I'm going to add a few cinnamon sticks. That's not in the recipe, but I've seen people fermenting with cinnamon sticks. I think I'm just going to throw them in there and see what happens. But I'm going to add probably about a 1/4 cup raw honey, 2 cinnamon sticks, and then I'm going to fill up the rest of the jar with non-chlorinated water. I got both of these honeys from the bulk section at one of our local stores. They're both raw honey, but well, I suppose I could just use the rest of this. I'm not sure how much is in here, probably close to a 1/3 cup. So I'll probably just use this. This is the wildflower raw honey. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape this in there.
Pears. Could I?
Okay, you can go ahead and put those in. Don't put them in your mouth. Perfect.
My mom was just getting water.
I was just getting water. Okay, so, now we're just going to fill it with water.
This is as fast as Mommy was doing it, right? Kind of.
Now that I have the water filled up all the way, I'm just going to set a plate on top of it and set it over here out of the way. Look at those bubbles. Nice. After looking at that Pear Kvass, I'm going to filter out all of the pear pieces and the cinnamon and put it into some swing top bottles for a second ferment. It smells really good. It smells super good. The pears broke down quite a bit because they were super ripe. Now I'm going to fill up these bottles and add a teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to fill it up to that bend in the bottle so that it has plenty of space to carbonate, just like you would a kombucha.
Yes, I am.
Yum. You can see the bubbles. Oh, it smells so good. And these bottles, I actually just I was repurposing them. I saw somebody was going to be throwing them away, so I asked if I could have them. So I basically just washed them up, took the label off, and now I'm going to use them for ferments. Can never have too many swing top bottles. And I heard that you can drink it just as it is once the first ferment is done. And since we don't have quite enough for this last bottle to fill up, I will probably just stick it in the refrigerator. Or maybe mix it with some kombucha. Almost. I changed my mind before. Mabel had a good point. Before I do a second ferment, I'm gonna taste it to see if it tastes good and if we want to keep it this way. And then if I want to, I will add some more sugar because it might still be super sweet. I mean, it just tastes like pear juice, honestly. I think it would be perfect if we added a teaspoon of sugar because it will help it get really bubbly and fermented that way. So we'll drink this. We can just add this to our kombucha to help make it sweeter. It's really good, actually. You want to try it? Mm-hmm. So I added 1 teaspoon per jar. So now I'm going to let it sit for a couple days and see if I can get some yummy carbonation built up. Today is a big day. I'm going to test the Pear Kvass. It's not actually called Kvass, I don't think. My dad corrected me. It's Voss. So the first time I made this, I did cinnamon sticks in with the pears. Then I did a separate one, and I did cinnamon basil in with the pears. And then I didn't mark them. So now I have to try all of the bottles to see which one is which. I think that this is the original one with the cinnamon, so I'm going to start there. Let's see if this is fizzy. That's awesome. Oh, this one's with basil. I can smell it. Ooh, that's good. Ha, that's really good. Maybe we'll grab a cup. I'll give you some. It's good. Okay, so this must be what I think is the cinnamon one. That's so cool. This is the cinnamon one, and it is actually a lot sweeter. It tastes like pear crisp in a bottle. That's the only way that I can describe it. It's pretty good, but the basil one's really good. Yeah, that's good. All right, so this is the cinnamon one. So that means that these two are basil. Let's see what the ferment is like on these bottles. Ooh. Basil-y. Since they're all different shapes, I was trying to just fill them up at like the widest part before it went skinny to help with the carbonation. And so each one of them have carbonated differently. So this one was really explosive. This one, not so much. This was more of like a sound. And then this one, let's see. Oh, see, kind of a letdown on that one too. Okay, so what I'm tasting is these two, they taste the exact same. They have the same level of carbonation. This one carbonated the best, and I think it's because of the bottle that I put it in. So I'll try to remember to put them in these bottles. These are just actual bottles that I got. They were like recycled from like a sparkling water, a mineral water. So I'll use these ones for the second ferment since these ones didn't carbonate as well. And the basil one's really good. I'm like pleasantly surprised. But it's very easy. You should try it on your own. Kind of experiment with the flavors. So I added the basil to the first round of fermentation before I filtered out all of the pears. And then with the cinnamon, I did the same thing. I added the cinnamon stick with the pears before I filtered it out for my second fermentation. So Give it a go and see how you like. And I'll put more info in the description below. But make sure you give a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. And until next time, see you later.